Welcome, everyone. We're going to take about 5 more minutes and let people roll in into the live and to the webinar, and then start with our presentation for today. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We can get started now. My name is Daisy Munoz. I'm the Capital Access Manager for Progress OKC and Chair for the 2022 OKC Minority Enterprise Development Week. This week, we are celebrating, highlighting, and strengthening our ecosystem by hosting a week-long events that have to do with networking, resources, and opportunities for our small business owners. Today, we have Desiree here from Tulsa. Her organization is Build in Tulsa, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what she's doing in Tulsa to move forward entrepreneurs of color. Thank you, Desiree, for joining us.
Oh, there we go. Of course, I am excited to be here. And I've actually really been looking forward to this day since I met Daisy a few months or 2 months ago. And so I'm just really excited to be here for the Minority Enterprise Development Week. So my name is Desiree Freisen. I'm the Director of Programming at Build in Tulsa. And I actually moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma a little over a year ago. In August 2021, I moved to Tulsa. I was looking for a new opportunity. I was looking for new things to do, people to meet, new communities to join. And the last week of May 2021, I was like, I'm done with New York City. I know that sounds weird, but I was done with New York City and I wanted to go, I wanted to leave. And I was just like, universe, I'm going to start the city in New York City, the summer in New York City. I'm going to end the summer in a new city. And 3 days later, I learned of Build in Tulsa. And I applied for the job and they flew me down to Tulsa in June of 2021. And then I was just like, there was so much energy in this city. And I was like, I couldn't pass up the opportunity. And so I got the job and I officially moved in August 2021. So we're going to learn a little bit about what Build in Tulsa is, why I made that move, and why I think that we're, smashing it here in Tulsa, and then how we can be supportive in Oklahoma City in the future.
Thank you, thank you. We're so excited that you're here now in Oklahoma. We're gonna keep you here forever. So
Yes.
just know that you're not leaving anytime soon.
No, no, and that actually is the mission of a great segue into Build in Tulsa. And so Build in Tulsa was conceptualized during the 2020 race riots around, or at least after the George Floyd murders. And so it was around a time where organizations, institutions, foundations around the country were seeking to learn how they can jump in on the initiative and help elevate underserved or underrepresented areas. And in late 2020, the George Kaiser Family Foundation decided that they wanted to fund an initiative to commemorate the upcoming 100 years of the Tulsa Race Massacre, which happened in 1921, where a mob came down to Greenwood District here in Tulsa around Black Wall Street and burned down homes and businesses owned by Black entrepreneurs at the time. And so, there was a long history of what happened in Tulsa. The story was truly never told, but, as more and more eyes were on the story and just kind of what happened here in Tulsa, George Kaiser Family Foundation thought it was a great opportunity to, how do we rebuild Black Wall Street, and how do we build Black Wall Street together and collaboratively? So our initiative was born, Build in Tulsa, in October 2020, and we officially launched our operations in May of 2021, the week that I found out about Build in Tulsa. So I knew it was meant to be. And we launched our first program, with Build in Tulsa in about August or July of 2021. So I'm going to go through just a little bit about what we do, who we are, why we exist. And then I'm actually going to scroll through our website for a little bit, because I like to actually see how people can get involved and a little bit more calls to actions. And so we are a movement to catalyze Black multi-generational wealth creation through tech and entrepreneurship. We know that technology is one of the fastest ways to grow wealth in today's economy. And given that the 100 years after the Tulsa Race Massacre and the ethos around rebuilding Black Wall Street, Build in Tulsa was created to encapsulate what does it mean to create multi-generational wealth through tech acceleration. So as I mentioned, the situation was, it was 2020, and for over $50 million actually was pledged by institutional organizations to address racial injustice. But what we found is that there are so many avenues that you can try to close the racial wealth gap. The racial wealth gap has been created for, we can go down into economics and, social economic statuses as well. But we know that tech and innovation was and is still the fastest way to achieve wealth in our generation. However, Black and brown folks have historically been underserved, underrepresented when it comes to technology and innovation. Yes, we have Black businesses in tech and in innovation, but not as many as we could, and not as many as scale. So this initiative is not only just addressing multi-generational wealth creation, but Build in Tulsa seeks to highlight racial and economic injustices and how we as a community can collaborate and come together to elevate the Black community in our economy. And so Build in Tulsa's vision is to unleash that infinite power of Black America's value and potential. And we know that through our programming and the ecosystem that we are building here in Tulsa, that we can help improve the net worth of program participants via increased income, savings, and asset ownership. And asset ownership can come into cars, automobiles, vehicles, home ownership, boat ownership, property, real estate, the list can go on and on and on. But how do we help do that through tech and innovation and through acceleration into technology fields? And so with that, we know that Tulsa is the best place to do this because we have a history of Black excellence. It was destroyed, during the Tulsa Race Massacre, but we knew that the energy of Black building in Black Wall Street never left this town and the city. And the George Cosley Family Foundation and the Charles Schusterman Foundation believed in our vision and funded Build in Tulsa to be a place-based initiative here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So what we do is that we connect and deploy catalytic capital. We do that through partnering with 3 accelerated organizations here in Tulsa, which we'll learn about in a second. We also build strategic partnerships as we think about even the mission of Progressing OKC is about what we can do together and building community. We know that we can't do this work alone, and it does take a village. And so we work with all of our city partners, going from city government at the local, state, and regional level. And we also create partnerships with local academic universities and high schools. And we also create partnerships with community organizations and other tech and innovation-based organizations to help elevate Black and Brown entrepreneurs. We invest in incubate scalable companies through our 3 accelerator programs, depending on what program. For example, Act Tulsa is a 6-month incubator program. And in that 6 months, you can receive up to $70,000 if you complete the program. It is 3 months of incubation, meaning that you learn about your business and how to scale that business and how to grow more customers, how to get more revenue. And if you're raising venture money, how to do that. And then if you are more along in a further sense, like you already have more than MVP, you're already in marketplace, there's TechStars, which is also a 3-month program and gives up to $120,000 in dilutive capital. And Lightship Capital invests up to $250,000 into $500,000 into eligible startups. And so we're investing in incubating scalable companies. We mentor and coach our entrepreneurs. I'm the main coach for Build in Tulsa. So our intake process is, if you want to be involved in Build in Tulsa, come in for a coaching meeting. And so I meet with all the entrepreneurs here in Tulsa who are trying to launch tech-based ideas or tech-enabled solutions. And we also are building out our mentor network. But if you're part of one of the 3 accelerator programs, you automatically get access to mentors. And because we know that impact is important, we measure and accelerate impact. And so with what we learn, the lessons learned, we try to put that right back into our programming so we create and build better, bigger, and better programs in the future. So impact data is really important for the work that we do here in Tulsa and to really understand if we are moving the needle in multi-generational wealth creation. And so we serve Black entrepreneurs. So typically, Black and Brown entrepreneurs, we like to just say we serve diverse entrepreneurs, because when you look at the landscape of our program, you'll see diverse. We have white, we have Asian, Black, Brown, you name it. However, we primarily focus on Black entrepreneurs who are seeking financial and social capital to grow their business. So the financial capital will come through if you're in one of the Build in Tulsa accelerators, Act Tulsa, TechStars, or Lightship Capital. And the social capital comes through mentorship, coaching, and we do a lot of events and a lot of networking opportunities here at Build in Tulsa. We serve investors who are seeking to invest in tech entrepreneurs led by diverse founders. We also serve institutions who are seeking to deploy capital or provide services of some kind, even in-kind services, to help support our Black entrepreneurs. And we serve our community, Tulsa. So Build in Tulsa, our initiative brings in entrepreneurs from the outside of Oklahoma as a whole, but we primarily also like to make sure we're serving our local Tulsans. And really anyone in Oklahoma can take advantage of our programs. You just have to be in Tulsa to take advantage of some of the accelerator programs, but we do a lot of community building and a lot of community facing work to try to elevate the community and also get them into tech jobs, train them in technology and other things needed to grow into the next economy of our future. And so we like to see this as a continuous cycle of support where you can start your business with Build in Tulsa, even from a paper concept. You wrote something on a napkin, and it's so great that you want to continue to look into a little bit more and see if the idea is worth building. And then also, we are focused on scale. So creating financial incentives, funding support, and hiring assistance to grow businesses. And so basically, once you've gone past the idea stage, maybe you built out your tech solution, and you've onboarded some initial users or customers or clients, you maybe start to generate some traction and revenue, or maybe at that stage and got some investment. That's what we consider scale. And sustain is that we help provide businesses that want to stay here in Tulsa, because it's all about, Stacey was saying, never going to leave. We don't want these businesses to leave Tulsa either. And so we help them create business headquarters. We are actually building out a larger space in the future. And so I don't have any details because we're in the brainstorming phase, but we want to create a larger space where Black businesses can work and co-work with their colleagues and their employees. So we're looking to build out a super, super big space in the near future. And then we do other things as we need to do to help sustain businesses here in Tulsa. So even if it's housing insecurity, through our programs, if you're in ACT Tulsa Light Ship Capitals program or in the Building Tulsa TechStars Accelerator, we actually provide our entrepreneurs with housing stipends for 3 months of $1,000. So that's $1,000 each month over 3 months, and that's it. But if they want to stay here in Tulsa, we also try to help provide access to affordable housing, or if there's still housing insecurity issues, especially just because you're from Tulsa, we don't want to just assume that you're housing secure. And we definitely know that people who are coming into Tulsa, Oklahoma may not be housing secure, just know the landscape. So we don't want our founders to have to worry about housing. So we want them to also be able to sustain themselves here. And if we can provide housing to entrepreneurs in our programs, then we do that. So as I mentioned, our accelerator network is TechStars. TechStars does 1 cohort per year as of right now. They just launched their first cohort on August 8th of 2022, and their demo day is on Thursday, November 3rd here in Tulsa. So definitely look out for information on that in the future. It is going to be live streamed, and it's also going to be in person. Just follow Build in Tulsa on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and we'll make sure to promote that information. And if you join us on our newsletter, you'll also receive information on how to get into the TechStars demo day. So that program is a global network that recruits entrepreneurs from all over the country and technically the globe. And this is the first ever Black cohort in TechStars' history. TechStars has been around for 12 years. They were founded out of Boulder, Colorado. And they have programs, over 60 programs between the US and some European nations. And our program is the very first all Black cohort in the history. And we were just so proud of that, just because it just means that we're just making sure that Black and Brown have access to resources, that intellectual capital, the social capital, and then also the financial capital. So that's just all. We're just making sure that they have that same access as everyone else. And the same thing for ACT Tulsa. ACT Tulsa does 2 cohorts per year. They work with 7 to 8 companies per cohort. They launched their first program in July of 2021. And so now they just started cohort number 3 on September 12th. And their demo day probably will be about February 2023. So definitely, again, follow us on all of our socials and newsletters for that information. They provide a $70,000 non-dilutive grant, meaning you don't have to give up equity in your company. And if you have questions about equity, we can get into that later. You can put that as part of the Q&A. And Lightship Foundation accelerates 5 companies per year, and that's where they're providing checks up to $500,000. They're a nationally recognized Black-led accelerator led by Candace Matthews and Brian Burkeen. And the organization is based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They're an innovation agency that has worked in most Midwestern cities and Miami. And they brought their accelerator and their boot camp programs here to help elevate Black and Brown founders who are past the idea phase, actually in the marketplace, have customers, have traction, have employees, and are looking to scale. So if you're at TechStars, most likely you have a minimally viable product, which we can get into what that means, which just basically means it's a prototype. It's just something that's not fully functional already, but you're testing it out with a very small group of users. And so then that's at the stage in your tech company, you would go to TechStars. If you're maybe like concept to MVP, minimally viable product, like you're still working on the idea and working on the prototype, but you're not in the marketplace yet, but you will be either during or after the Act Tulsa program, then the Act Tulsa program probably would be best for you. And like I said, if you're already revenue generating in marketplace, have traction, then Lightship Foundation is the best program for those who are already at the scale stage and are probably raising like probably anywhere from 2.5 to $5 million round. So our impact to date is that since 2021, because remember, we've done all this work and we only launched the last week of May 2021. So far, and these numbers have changed since we did this deck. So my apologies, so I'll just give it to you as it was. But since then, our companies have raised $6 million collectively. Collectively, we have deployed $65,000 in housing assistance in co-working space, but we're actually over, I think we're at the $125,000 mark on housing assistance in co-working space. And again, in order to be eligible for the housing assistance, you would have to be in one of the Build in Tulsa programs, Lightship, Techstars, or ACT. We have supported the number is now over 150 startups in our network. And last November, we facilitated the first ever Black Venture Summit known to mankind here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we facilitated 46 meetings with Black fund managers and potential limited partners. If you don't know what that is, so basically in the venture capital community, a venture fund manages other people's money. It's called OPM. And the purpose of a venture fund is an investment vehicle that's meant, it's like an asset group. And so you're hoping that you invest money in companies. And when those companies do well, like, you hear all this stuff about Facebook's worth like $1 billion trillion, Amazon worth $1 billion trillion. They eventually IPO'd, meaning they went onto the stock market, or they exited, they merged or were acquired by another company. They sold their company, whatever. There's lots of reasons that you can have a liquidity event, but that's how venture capitalists make their money. They get return on their investment, and that's why they take a piece of your company. And so we know that in order to build a proper ecosystem here in Tulsa where Black and Brown founders can thrive, we knew that we need to also elevate the investors in the venture community here. So we created the Black Venture Summit, and we've helped Black fund managers meet those people with other people's money, high net worth individuals or institutions, family offices, you name it. So our ecosystem, so the way into the Build in Tulsa entrepreneurial network for Black and Brown, it really just depends on which stage you come in. As I said, we cater to local talent, local Tulsans. We love Oklahoma, so we just say we consider Oklahoma just all local. And we recruit nationally to attract top Black entrepreneurs from across America. And so that's kind of where we start. We're always on the hunt for entrepreneurs. So if you are working on something that's technology or tech infused, and that sometimes, or tech enabled, I know that can create confusion sometimes. We can talk about that too. Then Build in Tulsa might have programming for you. And so we provide free access to office space. It's kind of like an early stage. So for our, we have a program here called the Entrepreneur Residence Program, and we have provided free desk space to emerging entrepreneurs. So they don't have to pay for their desk. All they have to do is be here for 20 hours a week. We oftentimes ask them to volunteer for events. We help them, we coach them every 2 weeks. We give them access to resources, meeting with investors. We just help them build out their early stage needs to build their company, and they don't have to worry about like overhead and rent and things like that. And to build in community, because we also know social capital, one of our pillars, is important for entrepreneurs at the early stage. If you're in one of the accelerator programs, so 3 and 4 kind of happen together. If you get into one of these accelerators, Techstars, Act Tulsa, or Lightship, then we provide you that stipend and housing. And the stipend, like, again, is the $70,000 from Act Tulsa, $120,000 from Techstars, and up to $500,000 from Lightship if you're eligible. And then we provide housing for everybody at the same rate of $1,000 per month per company, not per person in the company. So if there are 2 co-founders, then they would have to split the $3,000. After the program is over, then we hope, this is place-based. And so we hope that those who are not from Tulsa stay here in Tulsa and build in Tulsa. And there's opportunities for follow-on funding through our partner, Atento Capital, or the George Kaiser Family Foundation venture arms. And so if they are staying here and they get invested in, we hope that workforce development then kicks in. And then now they are hiring not only locally, but they can also bring in more talent. So Tulsa has a larger vision. Building Tulsa is just one part of that vision for growth and scale in Tulsa. And for us, we love the fact that we are bringing Black and brown talent to Tulsa. And we want to make sure that they have the resources that they need to stay here and scale here and be sustained. And then maybe after some follow-on funding, then we will always still provide support to access to business leaders and corporate partners or resources or things like that that you need to scale. But that's how you get into the Building Tulsa network here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is through one of these programs. But we have other programs that I'll talk about in a little bit as well. That's not part of the accelerator network. So where do we get our money? How do we operate? Who do we work with? We are funded through the George Kaiser Family Foundation primarily. We get most, I would say probably about 95% of our funds come from the George Kaiser Family Foundation. We are a nonprofit. We were most recently incubating under Atento Capital, and now we are under George Kaiser Family Foundation / the Tulsa Community Foundation. And when our 501c3 gets approved sometime next year or in 2024, we will become our own 501c3. And we will have a dual structure. So we will be a 501c3 nonprofit, and then we will also be an LLC. We are currently already an LLC, and that structure comes in as we seek to build out a fund of our own in the future. So we are primarily funded right now through the George Kaiser Family Foundation, the Charles and Lynn Schusterman Family Philanthropies. We won a Goldman Sachs grant of $250,000 to create a new program in Tulsa called We Build. It's a female-only accelerator for Black and brown women who are seeking to scale and build businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We will be providing them with a $25,000 non-dilutive grant. We will be providing them with $1,000 a month in housing assistance. So that's the $3,000 in housing. We will provide not only a housing, but we're going to do something additional. And we're going to provide a healthcare stipend or a childcare stipend. And so if you have a child, we will provide a stipend so you can pay for babysitting so that you can take part of our workshops and our opportunities. But if you don't have children at home, you would get like a healthcare or cost of living stipend to help you just manage everyday costs for yourself and for your home. We provide access to financial literacy tools, access to mental health coaches. So we're going to everyone's going to have a mental health counselor. I'm always a big proponent for go get a therapist in life. A therapist helps saves. And so we know that founders need therapy. And I spend a lot of my coaching sessions and therapy sessions. And so we know that that's one of the benefits that we can provide different. You can't find a lot of programs like this outside of Tulsa that provide so much support and so many stipends and allowances to be in a program. And that's because we want you to build comfortably and build safely and build with security as well. And then we have funding from, we've gotten like smaller funding from like the Bernstein Foundation. We've gotten some funding from Lobeck Taylor Foundation. We got funding from the Kretz Family Foundation. So we do get funding from other partners that are just not listed here just yet. And as I mentioned, we have to be part of a village. And so this can only work if we have partners. And so we partner with so many organizations here in Tulsa, like Tulsa Service Year, Type Roast, Tulsa Public Schools, Tulsa Community College, Holberton, which is a coding school here in Tulsa, Sky's the Limit, which provides entrepreneurs a $2,500 grant if you are eligible. So apply for that. Tulsa Innovation Labs, we partner with Black Tech Street, Tyrus Billingsley, who is a family's descendant of Black Wall Street, and has created some great programs here. And Tulsa Remote. Tulsa Remote gives you up to $10,000 to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Some of our partners, as I mentioned, are Techstars, Lightship Capital, the Tulsa Economic Development Corporation, also known as TEDC, 36 Degrees North. Currently, Building Tulsa is housed out of 36 Degrees North Camp 2. 36 Degrees North is a large innovation hub here in Tulsa. They have 3 co-working spaces. We're out of 1. In the space that we are in, we own about, or I guess not own, rent about, probably most of the space in here. So I'm going to say a good majority. And so this is our home base, and we call this a little Wakanda sometimes. And so, so we love to just be able to build with our community of entrepreneurs here. So how people can get, if they're really excited about building Tulsa and really truly want to work with us, they can partner with us in different types of ways. So if they want to sponsor, they can sponsor programs or events with Building Tulsa. Accelerate, if those who are looking to figure out more acceleration activities here in Tulsa, I think that's a great way to partner there. Innovation, we're always looking for ways that we can pilot new programming to help elevate our community of Black and Brown tech entrepreneurs. Scale, and then also I'm going to say something different actually here. You know, as I mentioned, we're always talking about tech and innovation as the fastest way to grow wealth in today's economy in our generation. However, we know that small businesses still just drive business and they just drive our economy. And so we are looking for more vehicles and avenues to support non-tech companies. So I do want to put that out there, but just right now, our primary focus is on tech companies. So when we say innovate and try new programming, we are also willing to try new programming that does not deal primarily with technology. And we're looking for partners that can help our companies scale and help our companies sustain. All right. So our team is, our managing director is Ashley Sims. She is born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's been here. She also used to be the local news reporter for about 10 years. She has a history in fundraising and development and public relations. I'm the Desiree Price, and again, I'm the director of programming. So I all the accelerators that I was just talking about, I manage at Building Tulsa. We have our programming manager, Kai Harris. She's also from New York City like me. She's from Brooklyn, though. I'm from Queens. We're not going to get into the borough wars right now, though, because she's not here and it's not fair. And then our business coach is Rod Walton. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio, and he recently relocated officially to Tulsa, Oklahoma, in January of this year. And one person who's not here, because today is only her third day, is we just hired a new director of marketing, Sydney Salas, and she will be over everything marketing, social media, branding, and events for Building Tulsa. So yeah, so if you're interested in Building Tulsa, we definitely want you to come build with us. The email here is that of my managing director, but literally my email is just Desiree@buildingtulsa.com. So you can replace that there, but we all just use the same deck and information all the time. So there, I can stop here. I want to show some other things that we do that's not included in this deck, but I also want to give some time to see if there are any early questions.
Any questions from the participants watching through the webinar? Okay, I would want to ask, can you tell us a little bit, one of the businesses that you have helped through one of the different accelerators that you are just a fangirl of? Those are her pronouns.
Oh yeah, you know what? And she was actually right here. Edna Martinson actually is one of our top success stories here in Tulsa. And actually, Edna Martinson and her husband Clarence Tan are the co-founders of Bottle Learning. They moved to Tulsa from Kansas City. They raised about $1.5 million for Bottle Learning a year ago, and some of that was through Atento Capital and Lightship Capital, and they had other investors as well. But Bottle Learning helps create gamified learning solutions for teachers and their students. So they have a platform that's gamified where instructors can upload lesson plans and learning or try different modules and plug and play on how to teach kids in math and science fields in a fun way. And so Bottle Learning actually scaled through the entire network here at Building Tulsa. They actually were, they came in they were so interested in what Tulsa was doing. They came in through Atento Capital, and they received initial funding through Atento Capital. And then they went into the ACT Tulsa Accelerator program for 6 months. And after they completed that program, they got funding from Lightship Capital as well. And so, and then at that point, there was no need for them to go into Techstars. And so they have hired here locally. They're seeking to hire more. And I know that they are now in a great position. They have over 3.5 million users on their site. I think when they first started doing a lot of this work is in about 100,000 of users. And now they're at 3.5 million users on their site. Yeah, they're just, for us, Bible Learning is, Clarence and Edna are an amazing team, easy to work with, coachable. They take advantage of resources. We've sent them to Black Tech Week in Cincinnati, Ohio this past July. And so when we see that our founders are scaling and sustaining themselves, we'll try to provide things for them to help meet their milestones. So if they say, I need to go to a conference and I can't afford it, can you help me? As long as they're building and scaling here in Tulsa and doing amazing work, we'll always figure out ways to support them. And Edna and Clarence are two of those folks who have figured out how to really leverage the system here.
That's amazing. I'm glad that Build in Tulsa has been able to create a very holistic approach to helping entrepreneurs to reach their goals. So that's really amazing.
Great. Thank you so much. So with that, I will showcase a little bit about our programs that we do outside of the Accelerator Network. So one of the things I mentioned was the best way into Build in Tulsa is through one of the Accelerator programs. And just to reiterate, let's look at that again. I'm also an adjunct lecturer, guys, so I'm always like, let me redo something. Okay, so again, this is our current Accelerator Network, Tulsa, Techstars Act Tulsa Leadership Foundation. And this is the money that you can receive if you're in those programs. But if you do not come into Build in Tulsa or just Tulsa through one of the 3 accelerator programs, there's other opportunities to still build with us. So one of the things that we noticed when we first started doing this work is that, as I mentioned already, is we do have a lot of tech founders here, but we have a lot more non-tech founders here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we want to make sure that we provide resources, events, activities for them as we seek to learn as our own organization how we can best support non-tech companies. And so one of the things that we want to do is really figure out what are the needs of entrepreneurs and what are all the different resources that we can deploy to make sure our entrepreneurs' needs are met across the board, whether they're tech or non-tech. So this past September, we launched our very first Boost micro grant program. And it's our program awards up to $2,500 to businesses. We had 3 different types of funding levels under this program. And for example, we had a legal business grant. So if you wanted to incorporate your business, maybe you've been in business for 2-3 years, but you've never been incorporated. And if you've been in business for 2 or 3 years, y'all, come talk to me. Desiree at buildingtulsa.com if you haven't incorporated. We need to talk about that. But that happens. Look, it's money. It costs money. And so we have a grant that will, or an award for up to $250. And then we have a business optimization opportunity and strategic technology award. And basically, as it states here, if you are seeking to maybe do some technical assistance, mainly meaning getting someone on your team to help you build something out, business development, sales, marketing, some type of professional development, hiring a consultant, or implementing some new technology to help you scale your business, then you can apply for the grant that goes up to $1,000. And so if you're more so on the technology side, like you need to implement some new technology to help, you can apply for maybe up to $2,500. So there's a $250 award, a $1,000 award, and a $2,500 award under the Boost Micro Grants. Now the program application period already closed for this year, but we are definitely bringing back that grant program next year. Next up, we have Build Up Startup School. We started Startup School in January of this year, and it's an opportunity. It's a free program. It's an 8-week program that teaches you how to scale or start and scale a tech company. So it goes over, we're going to look at the details. We do this twice a year. So we're in our 2nd time doing it this year, and we'll resume this again in January of next year. But we had workshops on patenting. We did one on like how do you protect your intellectual property, designing for humans. We did a workshop on user experience and design. How do you design tech solutions with your customers in mind? We did business modeling 101. What's a business model versus a business plan? And how do you use the business model canvas? We did a workshop on building prototypes and experimenting, which is just how to build prototypes and how do you experiment with them based off of your customers' needs. How do you do early stage customer acquisition and go to market strategies? How do you get your first 100 customers? Managing your business finances. How do you manage the money? Market sizing and competition. How do you size the market and how do you know who your competitors are? And our last workshop is going to be coming up this coming Monday, the 17th, which will be also on Zoom. It's in person and on Zoom, so you can just register. I'll show you where in a second. It's fundraising 101 and pitching and learning how to create a fundraising and pitch decks. But I can put this link in the chat as well for those who are really interested. And then you can, when you click find out more, it should take you to the Eventbrite. And you'll see all that. So there's only one left, like I said, but you can go back and see what some of the past ones were as well. But I'm gonna put those two links in the chat. If you're interested in how to create a fundraising pitch deck or just how do you fundraise in general, we'll go over stuff like that.
And then these workshops are open to the public or?
To the public anywhere. Yep.
Awesome, yeah. You heard that, guys?
And so we did our female founders, we do a female founders pitch competition once a quarter. It's our most favorite program. We love all of our programs. We love all of our entrepreneurs, but we love our female entrepreneurs. And we are just, technically we're a team of women. And so, we see the problem a little bit more highlighted because it's not saying that Tulsa doesn't have enough female entrepreneurs. There are a lot of female entrepreneurs here. It's about how do you eliminate imposter syndrome? How do you be like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I got this. But we find that don't take advantage of the resources as much as men do. So that's when we say it's our favorite program, it's our special program, is because we are truly trying to impart onto women, you can do this too. So go out and do it. Don't put any barriers against yourselves. So that's why we do spend a lot of time focusing on female entrepreneurship, but we focus on our programs on our target customers, which are men and women, diverse, Black and brown. However, this is one of our most popular programs. You don't have to be from Tulsa to pitch in our competition, but if you're outside of Tulsa, you just have to get yourself to Tulsa. But we'll make sure you're fed, and we can maybe help find a hotel or something like that. If you get into the competition, you still have to apply, which you can do here. So that's why I want to go through the pages on our website, because I wanted you guys to see how you can get involved in things. Actually, the next one's December 7th. It just wasn't updated here yet, but you can learn more about the Female Founders Pitch Night there. And then another program that I already talked about, the Black Venture Summit, and this is a curated program. So we only invite investors and limited partners to this one. So I'll skip over this one, but it is coming up in 3 weeks. The Entrepreneur in Residence Program, if you are just interested in this program, learning more about it, I would definitely hit the program details, but this is where we get the free co-working, the desk and the free co-working space, and access to coaching and mentorship. All of our programs are free. We don't charge unless stated. We don't charge for our programs. And when I mean unless stated, the only program that is not 100% free is our Black Venture Summit, but you guys don't have to worry about that because investors have money and they don't need to be doing, we don't need to give them anything for free. And so I'm just joking, but yeah, that's the only program that we have that's kind of not free. But for everything else for entrepreneurs, you don't have to worry about things. And then we have business coaching. So we're going to be doing business coaching up until December 1st, because we're going to be working remotely for the month of December. And not only that, we are after December 7th, but we are also taking the time to brainstorm and build better programs in 2023. So yeah, those are some of the programs that we have right now. The best way to learn about them, if you scroll to the very bottom of our page, you'll find you can join our newsletter. You can also find all of our social. We're on everything. We're not on TikTok, but we're on everything else but that. And we're just at Building Tulsa on everything. So you can follow us there. And that's all I had. I'm available.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, like you said, available for any questions. Feel free to pop them onto the chat, as well as I believe you can raise your hand on here on the webinar feature, and you can also just use your speaker and ask the questions if anyone has one.
I just put in the chat that you can also reach me at Desiree, DESIREE @buildintulsa.com. I'll spell that out. BUILDINTULSA.com. If you have questions or want to know more about resources that I didn't talk like that in depth about, you can, reach me there. And I can't wait to come to Oklahoma City. We're gonna have to figure out a
Sounds
tour coming up.
yes. I do have a couple of questions. I wanted to ask, as you say that you try to attract local entrepreneurs into your program, but as well you try to recruit people who are out of state. How have you been able to kind of recruit youth entrepreneurs or the youth who's interested in tech and innovation? How has that gone for Build in Tulsa?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, how we do recruiting is we do digital and we do in person. I'll start with the digital. And so we just run advertisements about all of our programs and the avenues into our programs. And the thing about Tulsa is it's so small that people tell us that they see our ads. So that's a great thing to know that they work.
Yes.
So right now, ads have been working for us. It's a great way for us to boost up our applications and just overall general awareness. And so we have found traction from uploading from like information from social media and like the newsletter, and like we figured out ways to kind of like make sure all of our tools kind of speak together and that there's always an avenue for people to find out more information. So we always make sure we have very clear calls to actions everywhere and on everything that we do, and that has helped us with recruiting digitally. Now, in person, we have done, for example, we went to Black Tech Week in Cincinnati, Ohio as a team in July. And I'm going to the Startup Championship Network next week in Dallas and Fort Worth. My boss, Ashley Sims, right now is in New York for the, Women of Color in Capital starts tomorrow. So she's there now. We talk about building Tulsa everywhere we go. And when we go to in-person events, we take all of our swag, and we love seeing people walking around in Building Tulsa t-shirts the next day or the same day, so we love to see the branding, and then people remember us that way. And so we do know that Chashki's merch does work when we go to in-person events, but also having physical calls to actions. And people have leveraged those opportunities to when we're out and about to talk to us. We always make sure that we have automated things in place. Like if you talk to us, we got a QR code, scan it, and you can make a meeting, kind of like things. So we do rely heavily into tech to try different avenues to make sure that because conversion, I guess, is the most important thing. Recruiting, we'll find different avenues to recruit, but we want to make sure that we're converting the right entrepreneurs at the right time for the right programs.
Yes, I have to agree with you. Just as you meet people in person or virtually, being able to push out the message. I myself or someone might not be or have an idea for a tech business, but we know of someone who has the idea that then we can share these resources too. So I have a couple of questions here. And so the first question is about business coaching. I have an idea of bringing experience to downtown Tulsa, and I'm currently working on a business plan. My idea is not very tech heavy, but would the coaching be something I could sign up for? They also said, thank you for sharing about Build in Tulsa. They have learned a lot today from you.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I can't wait to learn a little bit more about the experience you want to bring downtown. And so, yes, please do make a meeting with me. Just email me at Desiree@buildintulsa.com. Or actually, if you're on the programming page, I have a link right there. You can just sign up for coaching at the bottom. And so if you're on the programming tab. So please make a meeting, and we'll chat with you. And it doesn't matter if it's not too techy. We love businesses and ideas, and so please come through.
Thank you. Our next question is, are there any programs for young entrepreneurs?
That's another great question. We actually, it's not live right now because the program is not coming back to the summer, but we launched our very first Future CEO Camp this past summer. So if you got children, you got some family here in Tulsa, you be like, buy kids for a whole entire week, load them up and come to our next camp next summer. It's 1 week, 5 days, and it ends in a pitch competition. And we gave up to $9,000 in competition prize money to middle schoolers and high schoolers. This one middle schooler was so surprised, he's 12 years old, and he was just like, I won money. Like, he couldn't believe it. He
Yeah.
cried and cried and cried. He just never thought it could be him. And so I always tell people, apply to everything, because you never know what might happen. And so, yes, so that was a long answer.
Yeah.
Say, yes, we have our future CEO camp, and we are going to bring that camp back next year. We are also doing some activities during Global Entrepreneurship Week. Check, keep your eyes open for that. Specifically on Saturday, November 19th, we are looking to do a Black men's brunch for Black men 18 to 25. And we want youth as well. So we were thinking about opening up some spots for high school students too, to come learn from other Black men who are in business, and not just tech and innovation, just business, and learn how to start a company. And so it's just going to be for Black men only, Black and brown men only. And it's going to be on Saturday, November 19th. Location and things like that, we're still figuring out. So that's why I just say, just follow us on our newsletter or on our social, because then we'll be promoting it on that coming up probably about next week. So yeah, definitely come through on that one.
All right. Any more questions from our audience? No, I think those are all the questions that we have for you today. I want to say a big thank you to you. I know we met a couple months ago when I first learned about building Tulsa. I was like, no, we need to learn more. Oklahoma City is trying to build the infrastructure and community for tech startups and entrepreneurs. And we actually today we hosted 1 million cups as part of our program. Yes. And so we highlighted 2 local entrepreneurs. One of them was tech, and the other one was it was a green glam grounds. And then we have a big ass bag, which is basically
Janine.
Yes, she's amazing. Yes. And so we are very happy to have you here virtually. We'll find a way to bring you here to Oklahoma City, but to really kind of put that seed in the community about building the entrepreneurship in our community, in our wealth, our individual and community wealth through tech and innovation. And so thank you for making the space and cultivating it for Black and people of color and for women, and for really creating a holistic program where you are able to assist the entrepreneur in every way possible. So thank you again for the information and for making it out to MedWeek.
No problem. I enjoy the rest of MedWeek, everyone. This is a great opportunity when we have organizations like Progress OKC that can create these opportunities for us. So thank you so much for creating these opportunities, and for the sponsors and funders of this program as well. I have them up here. My apologies. I wanted to actually say them. So thank you to First Security Bank.
Yes.
And the Arnell Family Foundation. For bringing this program together. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, Desiree, for that.
No problem.
We appreciate you. Yes, thank you. And this recording will be available on the MedWeek YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook Live. So you can always scroll back if you missed something that you want to go back to in a reference. It will be here, as well as your email is here. And so we hope to bring you here at Oklahoma City soon. And so thank you everyone again for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.